Hey guys, how you going? Welcome back to my channel. Oh my god. And it's been a little while since I have vlogged from home. Since my last video here, it's been about a couple of months now, and we've been overseas for a few weeks and I filmed a few videos there. But we are home now and I'm super happy to be home because since our last video, we now have some furniture and the house is looking much more homely. I am going to film a full house tour video eventually because it's been highly requested, and I think it'd be great to show you guys some of the pieces that we've got and we've got them from, because I know it's always helpful to see things. Like when I've been looking for new pieces of furniture, I think social media is a great way to find new brands who are making amazing things. So that video is coming, stay tuned. Here's a mini lounge room update for you guys. No more bean bags. We got our couch after a long wait, but it was worth it because it is so beautiful. And we have this rug from our friends at Blush and Ochre, which is so nice and warm. Like, it just makes the space look so much more inviting and cuddly, which you want in a lounge room. I cannot wait to show you guys our house tour vlog when the house is all ready. Today's video, I just wanted to do like a bit of a sit down, pretty chill video, and talk to you guys a bit about why we decided to move back to Australia. Before I start filming that, I'm going to go make a coffee because I have a new coffee machine and it's beautiful. I don't actually know how to use it, but I'm going to show you guys. So this is our new coffee machine that we got from Smeg. We've had this for like a month now and I still don't know how to use it. Alex knows how to use it, so he has been making all of my coffees for me, but he's not home right now, so I'm going to give it a crack and then we can get on with today's video. Literally no idea what I'm doing. This is the coffee we've been using that we got from our local coffee shop, and it's really nice coffee. I think I'm on my last bit here, but yeah, this could be a fail or it could be really freaking amazing. Look at that. Okay, so I'm not even going to dabble in trying to froth milk, so I'm just going to pour an espresso and have a iced coffee. Our reusable mugs that I spoke about in my last Amsterdam vlog are back in stock online in this new funky color. How pretty is that? It's called Nude Rose and I'm actually obsessed. This is the one we had before called the coconut milk color, which is also beautiful. I've been super happy with how everyone's responded to these. They are such a good alternative to using single-use cups, and I'm going to pop a link in the description if you guys want to check them out. But now for the true test. Oh my god, I'm assuming I'm having one. Hello. Oh my god, look at that. See, I know how to make a coffee. Hello. That sound is everything to me. So I think I might transfer it into a bigger cup because I want lots of ice. And since my last video, I think I raved on about oat milk for like ever. Anyway, I can't get like the good oat milk, the Oatly oat milk, but this will do. If anyone knows where you can get Oatly oat milk in Australia, I would be very grateful for your help. Delish. Ew, stirred it with my finger. Okay, so now that I have the caffeine, I can crack on with today's video. Right now my life feels like 90% caffeine and 10% concealer. There is something crazy going on with my skin, but I think that is a big enough topic on its own that I will do a whole video talking about my skin, because it's been a wild journey the last few months and I'm not seeing the light just yet. Been to see a dermatologist, I've been trying lots of things, and I just still can't figure it out. So yeah, I might save that topic for an upcoming video if you guys would be interested in seeing that kind of video. Okay, so my tripod's a little bit crazy today and might fall down in the middle of this. But welcome guys to my first, it may actually be my second, can't remember, sit down video, and it's just basically like a chat. So today's video topic is talking about why we moved to Australia / why we moved home from Bali. About, what are we in now? It's May now. In January this year, holy crap, I don't know where the months have gone, but in January this year, Alex and I moved back home to Australia from Bali. We lived in Bali for about 2 years total. I moved over there because we were always planning to go traveling and we wanted to be more like central in the world. So Bali was like a really awesome place to pick for us because it's only 6 hours by plane back to Australia, and we had lots of upcoming things we had to come back for anyway. Plus it gets you 6 hours closer to the rest of the world, so flying to like Singapore or Hong Kong is just like easier for us to travel Southeast Asia and get to Europe to do all the traveling that we wanted to do. My sister Lauren was also living over in Bali, so she's who encouraged us, or basically gave us the idea to move over there after I finished uni, and we could move straight in with them, and super easy, super fun. And so we're there for 2 years. I think it was around October last year, around the time of our wedding, we were flying back to Australia a lot with all our wedding planning and preparations. And that's when we decided we wanted to move back to Australia because we realized how much we missed it. And every time we flew back in, it was, we're coming back home. We also were at the stage, just getting married, that our next step basically was to buy a house. So I guess buying a house was the biggest reason we moved back. We couldn't buy a house in Indonesia because you can't get a loan. So we would have had to fork out all that money up front, which we just don't have. I always wanted to move back to Australia, to the Gold Coast. It was always in our plans. We just didn't realize it would happen this soon. And the place that we bought, this lovely home, kind of just popped up online and I fell in love with it, like literally obsessed. I was like really hesitant to come even look at it because I knew once I looked at it, I would be like set on getting this place. So we toyed with that for like a couple of months and finally took the plunge and came and seen it, fell in love, needed to buy right now, got to move in, I want to be back in Australia ASAP. So it all happened really, really quickly for us. There was a few other factors that influenced our decision to come back to Australia. Me being in the food realm of cooking and making recipes and styling and all that, I obviously work with a lot of ingredients and food, and Bali has amazing vegan food, like amazing food in all the cafes, like probably the best in the world. I will give it that, like the best in the world. But when it comes to cooking at home and making recipes, the ingredients that are available in the supermarkets just are not the same as Australia. The quality is not there and you cannot get a huge range of different foods. So for me, in what I was doing for work, it was proving to be quite difficult every time I needed to do some kind of food job. And often I was actually saving up these jobs to come back to Australia and fulfill those jobs or do those shoots while I was back here because I had access to all those things. Also within my work, I receive a lot of things from brands or companies that I'm working for. And shipping over to Indonesia is very difficult. Just getting some things in can be really hard and often unpredictable. So I've always shipped everything to my family's home in Australia, and then we just collect everything every time we came back. But sometimes that just didn't work for jobs that I had because I needed that product now because the campaign was now. So I was missing out on some important jobs that I probably could have taken up. Another reason we decided to come back to Australia was because Alex and I run our own e-commerce store called The Wholesome Store, and we have always run that out of Australia. We have Alex's lovely mum who does all our shipping and handling for us, but we just needed to be on the ground to accept samples, to shoot new products, to check stock levels, for Alex to run the customer service, to be on the phone to Australia Post like every second day trying to work out where parcels have gone. So it was just really difficult for us to do this from overseas. So that was another big reason why we wanted to relocate ourselves back home. Another reason for us was the quality of water. I mean, the water there it's not horrible, but over the course of 2 years, I did get food poisoning or Bali belly about 4 or 5 times. And considering we were living in Bali for 2 years, but probably spent only 12 months in Indonesia itself, to get food poisoning around 5 times is quite a lot. And I didn't feel like it was very good for my health, like constantly having to build back up gut health after having a bout of really bad gastro is not a fun time. So I think that was another factor that played on it, because every time I got sick, I'd just feel like I just wanted to go home and be back in Australia where I felt safe drinking the water and eating the food. This isn't a huge factor for us. Here in Australia, the beaches are literally the best in the world. Like, the more I travel, the more grateful I am for where I have been grown up and the beaches that we have here in Australia, because they seriously are amazing. Like, they're not crowded, they're hardly polluted, the water's clear, the sand is white. Like, it's just, yeah, it's paradise. And we're very lucky to have this. So the more that I've traveled, the more I've gone, wow, Australian beaches are amazing. And don't get me wrong, Indonesia has some insane places to visit for like blue, clear waters and all of that, all the islands. But on the island of Bali itself, I would have to admit that the beaches aren't the nicest, so we didn't often want to go down to the beach. And that's something that I do love doing on my time off, is just going for a quick dip or laying on the beach for an hour. Like, that's something that I really love doing, and we just never did that in Bali. So I was kind of missing that small part of my life that I really loved. Another big reason was our friends and family, like having all our family and friends nearby in Australia. We started to really miss that, especially for Alex, who, like, I had my sister in Bali, which was amazing because she's my best friend and my sister. So to live with her, like, I could live with her for the rest of my life. But Alex and I getting married and starting the next chapter of our lives, I can't obviously live with my sister for the rest of my life, even though I would love to. But it just made sense that eventually we would have to get our own place. And sorry, I need to have a breather. I'm just rambling now. So yeah, for Alex, it was a big thing to be close to his mates. I think having a social aspect to your life is really, really important. And when you don't have that, like for him not having his boys close by, it was quite difficult for him. Like, don't get me wrong, living in Bali, you have so many people come visit, especially from Australia, because it's so close and it's such a popular tourist destination. So we constantly had people visiting, which was amazing. But just having the flexibility to, you know, for me to go to Pilates with my friend on a Saturday morning, or for Alex to go watch the footy with his mates on the weekend, or just to catch up with his sister for dinner during the week, like all those things that we sort of took for granted when we left, and every time we came home we missed. So that was a pretty big factor. And also like having family close by, like our grandparents are getting older now, and we've done the 2 years travel, but now you sort of want to come back home and spend more time with them, because you're not going to have that forever. So you've got to make the best use of the time that you do have with those people that you do love. So yeah, I think that covers all the reasons we wanted to come home. But I want to explain a bit more about living in Bali, because obviously a lot of people watching this video possibly are thinking of or planning to or dreaming of moving to Bali, and I want to explain a bit more about how we did that and what it's like to live in Bali and how you could do it if you are interested in doing it. So obviously living in Bali is amazing. Like, it's constantly like you're on a holiday, because everyone there is on holidays. So, you know, it's very slow living, lots of amazing healthy vegan food, Everyone's really happy. Like, the Indonesian people themselves are just such beautiful people. They're so happy and they're so kind and relaxed, and yeah, it's just like this, it has a certain charm to it. I can't explain it, but Bali is just, I think it's my favorite place in the world to visit, apart from my home Australia, of course, and we'll always have that there to visit and go stay whenever we want. But it's also a really great place to live if you are wanting to live overseas and you do work online or have some way that you can work remotely. In terms of getting actual jobs in Bali, I can't really speak of that because I don't know much about that, because I never have. I do think it would be pretty hard because obviously they're going to want to give jobs to locals, and you don't really want to be taking jobs from local Indonesian people. Not really up to speed on the whole passport visa situation. I have heard through friends that it can be quite difficult to get your visa. But we lived there for 2 years, and Alex and I never were on anything but a tourist visa, because for the fact that we were planning to travel so much. Like, we were literally planning to go every 1 to 2 months, and the tourist visas are 30 to 60 days. There's 2 different visas. So that was like totally easy for us to manage, just coming in every 30 days, spending 30 days there, and then we'd go off on another trip, either for work or for pleasure. So it really worked for us, and so many places in Southeast Asia are really close by, really cheap to get to, and you can just go away for like a week or 2. So that worked really well for our lifestyle. Possibly if you were planning on just going there for like 6 months straight or a year straight, that setup wouldn't work. They do have social visas, and I think a social visa is a 6-month visa. I'm sure someone's going to correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think it's a 6-month visa. However, you cannot go back home in that time or you break your visa. And lived in beautiful villas which you rent long term. We first moved in with Jack and Lauren, and they still had a lease that was about 6 months from being from ending. So we just moved into their villa, and then we all got a year lease in our next villa, and we ended up staying there for the remaining 18 months. Villas in Bali work on like a long-term basis, and you pay this up front. I don't know if this is the case for every villa, but we paid our rent up front for the whole year. So obviously that is a huge expense. And I think that was also another persuading factor to make us want to move back to Australia so soon, because our visa was running up, and to get another 6-month visa, our rent was running up, our lease at our villa, and to get another lease was going to be another 6 to 12 months, which we would have done a 6-month lease. But that is quite a big expense to outlay up front, when we could be putting that onto a mortgage for a home that is our own home and something that we will have forever. The cost of living in Bali is a lot cheaper than Australia. Like, going to eat out at cafes and restaurants is crazy cheap. Like, it's actually cheaper to eat out than it is to cook at home. Also, if you're working in like the online networking world, you run your own business online, or you're a social media influencer, it is an amazing place to live, because there's so many other people there who are doing the whole digital nomad thing. So it's a really great way to network and meet some people. There's lots of cafes that offer like networking space where you can rent out a space to be there for the day, just to use their internet, use the cafe, etc. We had Wi-Fi in our villas, so I always just worked from home. I've been talking for a long time now, so I should probably wrap this video up for you guys. But I hope that you have found this helpful. If you have any questions about our whole relocation, or about moving to Bali, or even moving to Australia, please leave them below, and I'll try my best to get back to you. And make sure you give it a thumbs up if you do like this video, because it does support my channel, and subscribe if you're new here. I am planning to post lots more videos this year, and I hope you guys are enjoying this content. If you have any recommended videos, please feel free to let me know. I'm always looking for ideas to make this channel more useful for you. Thanks for watching. And in case you're wondering, my coffee is amazing. I am actually so impressed by myself. Just need to work out how to froth the milk so I can make oat milk lattes.